today's headlines, bring it on, Go says regarding Pacquiao's probe. PDP Laban's Duterte support iron-clad. Bong Go refutes claims of any unethical behavior. House junks impeachment complaint versus Leonen. Afghan refugees get jobs, social services. Hyperscaling next hot word for government. Travel ban on 10 countries extended. Voters registration to resume for areas under MECQ. Good morning, I am Venice Bautista and you are watching Tribune News on Q. Today is September 2, 2021 and here are the latest news of this Thursday morning. Senator Christopher Bong Go on Wednesday sent a clear message to his detractors to fire away if they have the goods on him so he can properly defend himself instead of being pilloried in public. Go assured Filipinos he is ready to face any complaint before the Senate Ethics Committee following a threat to have him before the panel made by Senator Richard Gordon Tuesday morning. Go has repeatedly denied having former Department of Budget and Management Procurement Service Chief Lloyd Christopher Lau as an aide when he was Special Assistant to the President. Lau was tagged in the question procurement of pandemic supplies, an allegation flatly rejected by the palace in a briefing by the President's spokesperson, Secretary Harry Roque. Go has maintained Lau was just among the hundreds of employees at the palace under the presidential management staff. Ousted PDP Laban President Manny Pacquiao heads the said panel that a Senate source said will become a kangaroo court if the boxer lawmaker will not inhibit himself from investigating Go. Pacquiao obviously relished the thoughts of having Go answering questions from his panel. Go stressed he will immediately resign if the allegations against him are proven true. Go said that justice should not be selective, but speculations and insinuations should not be welcomed too. He is just working. His only capital is his principle and service to the Filipinos, and he will never destroy it. President Rodrigo Duterte remains chair of the administration party PDP Laban, which on Wednesday threw its all-out support to the chief executive. In a manifesto signed by its top officials led by PDP Laban President and Energy Secretary Alfonso Cuti, the party said it joins the overwhelming majority of Filipinos who trust and approve President Duterte's leadership, not only in dealing with criminality but also in addressing the current COVID-19 pandemic. Party statement came as the palace said Mr. Duterte has ignored what PDP Laban dubbed as the comedic assertion by Senators Coco Pimentel and Manny Pacquiao that they have assumed the chairmanship and presidency of the party, respectively. Commission on Elections will have to resolve the impasse at PDP Laban between the original chaired by the president and the other purportedly headed by Pimentel once they field their candidates for the May 2022 elections by early October. PDP Laban Undersecretary Cusi has endorsed Senator Christopher Bong Go and Duterte as the party's candidates for president and vice president respectively, while Pimentel's wing is reportedly supporting Pacquiao's possible presidential run. PDP Laban's manifesto commiserate with the officials of the Department of Health and the Department of Budget and Management. These departments are at the forefront of government efforts in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. It also lauded Go's willingness to resign if allegations of corruption are established as a matter of fact, even as it challenged those who are making the allegations or making use of the allegations to likewise resign from government if they cannot prove by factual evidence there was indeed corruption. The party also lauded the success of the president's fight against drugs and criminality. Senator Christopher Bong Go said that there is no ground to file an ethics case against him since his conscience is clean and that he has not committed any disorderly or unethical behavior that would merit such a case. Go said, "Ako na po mismo nagsabi paulit-ulit na kung may kasalanan, kasuhan at ikulong. Ano po ang unethical doon? Malinis po ang aking konsensya, wala akong tinatago at wala akong kinakatakot dahil wala naman akong ginagawang masama. Quote. Go emphasized that for any ethics complaint against him to prosper, accusers should first have basis that a wrongdoing or disorderly behavior has been committed. Cited previous ethics cases filed against senators that did not even prosper. Go responded to fellow senators Manny Pacquiao and Richard Gordon's statements on the possibility of filing an ethics complaint against him in a statement released on September 1. Go assured that being probed is not a concern for him because he has nothing to hide. According to Go, he could not say much more about the matter because now case has been filed. He did emphasize, though, that any complaint against a public official should be dealt with properly. Go said in a privileged speech on August 31 that if allegations of corruption against him are proven, he is willing to resign, maintaining that he stands by his name and character as a humble public servant from the province. He also reiterated and reminded his fellow senators of the zero-tolerance policy of the Duterte administration when it comes to fighting corruption. Go also noted that the Filipino people deserve fairness and due process from an institution that is respected and plays a key role in the government's anti-corruption efforts. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Paturok, paturok. Pababakuna ka ba? 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 Vaccination for the nation. No more isolation. With vaccination. Pababakuna ka ba? 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 Paturok, paturok, paturok.
We are back on Tribune News on Q. Other news, the House of Representatives adopted a resolution on Wednesday dismissing the impeachment complaint against Supreme Court Associate Justice Marvic Leonen. The lawmakers approved House Resolution number 2068 with 165-1-1 votes, which determined that the complaint filed by Edwin Cordevilla is predominantly based on hearsay. Only 2 hours into its first and only hearing, the House Committee on Justice, chaired by later Representative and former Court of Appeals Justice Vicente Velloso III, on May 27, 2021, unanimously approved the motion to dismiss the impeachment complaint against the magistrate. At least 44 lawmakers voted to dismiss the complaint, while 2 inhibit from voting, such as Agusan del Norte Representative Lawrence Fortun and Marikina Representative Stella Luz Kimbo. As the basis for the dismissal, Veloso said the committee cannot accept newspaper articles and opinion pieces as evidence to support Cordevilla's allegations against Leonen. Cordevilla, the Secretary General of the Filipino League Advocates for Good Government, filed the complaint to oust Leonen on December 7, 2020. Ilocos Norte Representative Angelo Marcos Barba, the cousin of former Senator Bong Go Marcos, endorsed the complaint to the House Committee on Rules before it was referred to the Justice Panel. Leonen handled the electoral protest of Marcos against Vice President Leni Robredo and later contested Robredo's win in the 2016 national election. In our foreign news, Prime Minister Boris Johnson on Wednesday said Britain owed an immense debt to Afghans who worked with NATO forces as he announced vital support for those resettling in the UK. The government announced that £15 million would be provided for additional school places and to support access to the health service for the refugees. Johnson said the so-called Operation Warm Welcome measures that they owe an immense debt to those who worked with the armed forces in Afghanistan, and I am determined that we give them, their families, the support they need to rebuild their lives here in the UK. The government said the measures will give Afghans the certainty and stability to rebuild their lives with unrestricted rights to work and the option to apply the British citizenship in the future. During Wednesday's Hyperscalers media launch, Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez highlighted the country's readiness in terms of digitalization, which is helping enterprises propel economic growth even further. He said that the Philippine economic growth accelerated in the second quarter of 2021 to 11.8% from a 17% contraction in the same quarter in 2020. He also added that industry will benefit from strong government support and a favorable regulatory environment. Hyperscalers can avail of incentives under the country's investment priorities plan. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte had announced that the Philippines is inviting more investments to expand e-commerce and facilitate new modes of interaction and exchange as the country becomes an active participant in the global digital economy. Lopez expressed that the government is promoting hyperscalers as the country's next growth engine in its Make It Happen in the Philippines campaign, and as hyperscalers act as enabler of various industries and the backbone of digital native industries such as financial technology and digital banking. He noted that hyperscalers' increased presence will create a multiplier effect, especially with a potential increase in demand for renewable energy and data center developers. Hyperscale platforms provide the ability to quickly and seamlessly handle immense volumes of activity and data. Their capability for integration with other systems make it cheaper for the customer to implement and integrate the platform. Tribune News on Q will be back. Stay with us.
Magpabakuna kayo.
This public service advisory is brought to you by Daily Tribune and 100.3 RJFM.
Oh, vaccination, isolation. Gotta keep up with my nutrition. Gotta maintain my body condition. Then I can take my vaccination. What do I choose? What do I take? As long as it is not a fake. AstraZeneca, Moderna, BioNTech, even Sinovac, okay na. Pababakuna ka ba? 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 Vaccination for the nation, no more isolation. With vaccination, pababakuna ka ba? 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 Paturok, paturok, paturok.
This public service advisory is brought to you by Daily Tribune and 100.3 RJFM.
Magpabakuna kayo.
We're still watching Tribune News on Q. The Bureau of Immigration announced on Wednesday the extension of the temporary travel ban for all passengers coming from 10 countries until September 5. In the advisory, Immigration Commissioner Jaime Morente said that following the directive from Malacanang as recommended by the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases, travel restrictions from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, United Arab Emirates, Oman, Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia have been extended from September 1 to 5. Travelers coming from these countries, as well as those with a travel history in 10 countries in the last 14 days prior to arrival to the Philippines, will not be allowed to enter. Morente said other travel restrictions remain in place. Currently, only Filipinos, balikbayan, and those holding valid and existing visas are allowed to enter the country. The entry of foreign tourists remains suspended. Morente added that this move has been implemented as the IATF deems it the best action to slow down the rising number of COVID-19 cases and stop the further spread of the Delta variant while increasing the country's existing healthcare capacity. The voter registration will resume on September 6 after coming to a halt when the government implemented the enhanced community quarantine on August 6, 2021, confirmed by Commission on Elections Director James Jimenez on our segment Gising Na this Tuesday morning. Registration will end on September 30, 2021. With the imminent deadline, netizens are worried that they won't be able to register on time. In response to this, Director Jimenez said that not everyone who wants to register will be able to do so. He assured that we have already met the set target. COMELEC expected 59 million registrants, but as of now, we have reached 61 million registered voters. For new registrants, they expected 4 million citizens. However, we have now more than 5 million new registrants. According to Jimenez, now that all targets have been met, they plan to accommodate more people. COMELEC will increase the registration hours, add registration areas, even setting up mall registrations to help those people who are struggling to be registered. The area of voters registration will be open from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. That wraps up the stories this morning. Before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store, the Department of Tourism, Araneta Center, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Venice Bautista, and you are watching Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning.
Catch the latest news on our website tribune.net.ph and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune digital edition and press reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS users and Google Play for Android users to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber Katribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Tarcito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just click on the link in this video to join.